what is strange, it was very rare. Once upon a time, you never heard of no black folks worshiping no Satan.
Willie D. Live.
What are the consequences, like when people do get popped? To me, it seems like the government is very lenient. Law enforcement is very lenient on sex traffickers. What are the consequences? What does the penalties look like?
Well, the penalties are very stiff now, especially for minors. That's 25 to 99 if you're trafficking minors, forcing them into prostitution. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like what you see on television. Nobody's picking up nobody and throwing them in a van, and they do keep them. That kind of stuff does happen, but that's not natural and what goes on normally. These children are being courted through social media, through the video games, through cult-like music.
Is that one of those video games, is that 764 thing you was talking about?
Yes, that's, they had a big story on the news last night, how they're luring minors and individuals with disabilities, mental health issues that are undiagnosed even. And they're luring them into cult-like activities and satanic practices and sacrifices and worshiping. And what is strange, it was very rare. Once upon a time, you never heard of no black folks worshiping no Satan. You just didn't. That was rare. Now, the guy that started it, the cult leader, he just got 80 years. But the seed for the game that he created in the games and that footprint was already planted, and it went worldwide, viral. And before you even know it, you just think you're playing a game and you're on there with individuals. You can't see them. A lot of them are covered up. They have these little ads that pop up and you click on it. Even on any of the games, they take you into the dark web, and with all the AI that's going on, they're taking your voice, your face, putting it on these AI characters, and your likeness has been shared billions of times. The same way with... they're calling it the fake, like they had fake news and the fake photos and all that. They can actually take your likeness and your voice. And they're even doing that on the scamming that they're doing when they're stealing your identity, stealing your information, stealing your bank account, stealing your social security numbers. Like, these scam calls will come in and they might not say anything. You keep saying, hello? Hello? It's recording your voice. It takes your voice likeness and uses that and creates your whole conversation because they had the tones of your voice. Like you're talking to a bill collector, or you're saying, I want to change my password, I want to change my whatever. We are living in some of the most horrific, scary times ever. Ever, ever, ever. Since I've been sitting here, you see me continuing to delete. I've had 10 scam calls in just the past less than 1 minute on my phone. And by answering them, you got to be careful. Because even if they don't say anything, you don't... First of all, if you answer it, don't you say anything. Let them say something. And then you'll hear the little... Hang it up. Delete it. Block it. And they're just going to keep calling and keep calling. There's so many tricks to this game. And there's so many of our children from every race coming up missing, being hypnotized by these games and these algorithms, is what they're calling it. And even now, back in my dope fiend days, when I was a crackhead, that was real dope. And I used to tell everybody, and they would laugh and think it was a joke. I say, ain't no more real dope. Me, George Clinton, Rick James, everybody, we all smoked up all the real dope. That was not a lie because Pablo Escobar was killed. And then they arrested the other guy. They were calling Patron. And their children took over those businesses, and they weren't able to duplicate cocaine. That's why now people are calling it crack, but it's not. It's crystal meth, which is a chemical. You got metal and lithium batteries and Drano and Sudafed and bathtub meth and the things that they're doing that now you see everybody out here, and it is not no crack. Crack is gone.